Anyone who should like to ask a question or two? Generally it's two instead of one, please. Kokal Sahib?
Assalamu alaikum, sir.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah.
My question is very simple, sir. Human faculties are not...
It is very rare that you ask a simple question.
All the human beings are born different. Physically, all the human beings
Yes.
are born differently, physically and mentally. Their mental capacities differ. Then how should we have a universal religion acceptable to all?
And yet you call them human. With so many differences in color and creed and habits and backgrounds and cultures, religions and physiques,
Yes, sir.
temperaments, psyches, with so many differences, you still give them one name, human beings. Why? Why give them one name? What do they have in common?
Conscious, brain, sense,
So a religion relates to all those factors which are common.
and they are different, sir, on different levels.
What I mean to say, despite all the differences, there are certain fundamental features common among men to deserve them a common name. So the same factors are responsible for their, they're being declared as fit for receiving one religion. Moreover, mankind was not given one religion universally to begin with. Mankind had to wait a long time until it progressed through various stages towards a final stage of development where it could unite together as one human being. And the same trends are found everywhere in every human field of interest. In sociology, in culture, in civilizations, in statehood, in every department of human interest, you will find that smaller drops are merging into bigger drops, and streams are running into oceans, and oceans are joining with other oceans and becoming larger and larger. States are becoming much, much larger than they previously used to be. And human understanding is growing towards each other. There is no such thing today as East is East and West is West. They are getting together, merging together. So all this indicates that man is traveling towards unification. The same exactly is the history of religion. Previously, the religions used to be regional or tribal or geographically belonging to countries or a group of countries. But they went on spreading and they went on widening their address and appeal. The result was that ultimately mankind was declared fit by Allah to be able to receive one religion, but that not in one stage but in two stages. The first stage was, it was ordained, and as we know the history, we can positively declare it that this was exactly what it was ordained, how it was ordained. That Allah at the first stage wanted almost half the world to learn of Islam and to be influenced by Islam. That world at that time was the most advanced world. That world at that time was the most educated world. And the learning belonged to the East, and it started flowing from the East to the West. And later on, in the latter days, the second hemisphere of the world was to be addressed by Islam and ultimately conquered. And that part also, it so interestingly happens, contains a newly discovered world, that is America, which was not discovered at the time of the revelation of Islam. So revelation of Islam, although was made about 1400 years ago, yet the entire plan of the spread of Islam and the delivery of its message is spread over a much larger period, and it exactly coincides with the human development. So Hadhrat Mirza Tahir told us that the Holy Quran had already predicted that mankind would join together and make one family. The distances will be shortened. Animal life would be gathered and the mountains would be moved. That showed that future developments. And Hadhrat Mirza inferred from all that this was initially for the unification of man as such, and finally the purpose was to bring mankind under the fold of one religion, that is Islam. So that is how we see the world. The differences, of course, there are, but they are converging into closer understandings, and we can already see forging of man into one society. Moreover, Islam is related to human psyche, and that is what I initially wanted to point out, and I was trying to draw your attention to the factor that the differences which you are pointing out are superficial. The basic character of man remains exactly the same, whether he is a black man or a red man or a white man or a yellow man, whether he is tall or small in stature. Whichever geographical region he belongs to, his basic psychic urges and the factors which are framing his mind and his attitude towards other human beings, they are common. His capabilities fundamentally are common. It is the only animal which can express itself in words, in languages, and the only animal which can write things and which can plan things in writing. There is no such thing known to the universe but man, as far as we know. So all this shows that basically human beings are created on a plan which was ultimately to prepare man for a single factor of prepare man for a unity, a unification, despite the apparent divergence and differences in color and creed and habits, as you have mentioned. So all these factors are pointing to the same thing. Ultimately, man is to be ushered into a golden era where in other capabilities and capacities as well, he will be unified, and in religion also he will be unified. Yes, please. Zikrullah, you?
Assalamu alaikum. Huzur, in view of one verse of the Holy Quran, which says, "Fama sahila fala tanhar."
Pardon?
Fama sahila fala tanhar. That is, not to chide the beggars. Does it mean that Islam encourages begging?
Islam does not encourage begging, but Islam discourages insulting beggars. They are two different things altogether. At one time, on the one hand, we see in the Holy Quran a great emphasis on looking after the needs of the poor and the needy, and to try to provide them with their needs without making